Hey everybody, Dr. Eric Plasker here with a very good friend, Keith Smith. Man, we've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, well, special day, we get to talk. Man, Keith, patient here in our practice, decided that he wanted to live his ideal 100-year lifestyle, not go home and not live. We're going to talk about all of that, and so tell me, and I appreciate your time, so does everybody else. You're going to make a difference. This is an amazing story, everybody. What brought you here? Tell us about that day that you drove down to our practice, why you came, and let us get to know you.
So first, let me thank you for an opportunity to share my story because, before I started coming, I really didn't have a story. Was living a life with a lot of pain. Have the history of father with very sick his entire life, lived with a lot of pain, and a friend of mine, which is a patient of yours, said, you need to try this. And never been to a chiropractor or had that kind of treatment before. And I came down a lot of pain, hurting, left a different person.
Okay, now can I expand on this a little bit? Because when Keith says a lot of pain and that his dad had some crippled up long-term health problems, there's a condition that happens, arthritic conditions that happen to people, everybody, not everybody, but happens to people, some of them as they age, that causes the spine to grow together, severely compresses the nerves. You've seen it in some people where their posture changes over time. Maybe you're seeing the early signs of it on yourself. But your daddy had it severe.
Since a young man.
Since a young man. And some genetic component to it, ankylosing spondylitis,
yes.
DISH, diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis, fancy name for ouch, can't move very well.
Right.
And so your daddy now 84, you came, at the time, he was 82 maybe, you were 59 when you started here. The way you described it to me was like when you were driving, you could not drive. Talk about that a little bit, the effect of how these things that you may be living with today and your loved ones may be living with today, how they progress over time.
Yeah, it's, you don't really notice it until it's completely away from you. But even driving, try to turn my head in any direction to check for oncoming traffic, couldn't do it. So you're just taking a chance and hopefully pulling out when nothing's coming.
Yeah, and it's interesting because as he just did that, I'm welling up with tears because I remember that day I was like, all right, Keith, turn your head to the left, and you were like, well, I am. Well,
yeah.
Now turn it to the right. Well, I am. And that's how literally restricted it was, because what happens, everybody, is that when the spine gets injured, it gets subluxated, it usually does grow together. It starts to grow together. Your body, within its innate wisdom, tries to protect it so that it forms new bone to keep it from being injured further. And in your case and in your daddy's case, taking over the spine, yes, affecting the nerves, compressing it on so many levels. And there was a time when we were discussing the impact that it had on you, because we're talking about longevity here and performance for a lifetime. You living not your 60-year rot away and deteriorate lifestyle, but living a quality 80, 90, 100-year lifestyle. You are thinking about retiring to do what? Talk about the vision that you had for the future before you started getting chiropractic care and thinking in this different way.
Yeah, I've worked my entire adult life traveling. So I've been gone through the week, come home on the weekends, and just over the years, just so much is drained out of me, felt bad, hurt all the time. And I just thought, I'll retire at 62 years old and prepare to die. Because, there wasn't a whole lot left, not a whole lot of energy to go on for new adventures and things. And boy, hadn't that changed now?
Yeah, man. Very exciting. In fact, you're going to see some pictures behind us. We're at a green screen now. Now it's green when we're filming this, but we're going to send this up, and we got Keith where his retirement is going to be. Up in Tennessee, we're in Georgia. You come a long way to be here. I know that's a trip for you. I know you do some work down here, right, too. But, man, you got a lot to look forward to on the screen behind us. And What was it like for you seeing your dad suffer?
Wow.
Thinking that that was your destiny before you started getting chiropractic care and thinking about your longevity, 100-year lifestyle in a different way?
Wow. So growing up, my dad was always crippled. So that was always a challenge. I mean, to have Dad throw a baseball with you or a football or be involved in things like that, it just didn't happen. He couldn't do it. So I think in my entire life, I felt the burden of being something in our family other than a son. So a lot of times had to feel like that I had to hold the reins of the family. My condition, even though I witnessed my dad see him in that condition all the time, it never really dawned on me till it was gone, till all the movement in my neck was gone. When I would lay down at night and hurt so bad, lay there for hours because so much pain in my shoulders. And it didn't really happen till it was, I didn't realize it till it was gone.
Yeah, and there's a lot of you that think that way and act that way. That is not a good idea. One thing we've learned about the importance of knowing that we are the first, listen to this, that we are the first generation in history that is getting the advance notice that whether we like it or not, want to or not, we're probably going to live longer than we ever thought. The things that are not really a big deal to you today, if you don't address them now, will become a very, very big deal.
Absolutely.
And if you wait until you're already degenerated and you're just popping pills, over-the-counter pain meds and anti-inflammatories, I mean, a week is one thing, but if you've been doing that for years, you are headed probably for a deteriorated future. And so you had this wake-up call. What was the wake-up call?
The wake-up call was after the first adjustment. I went home that night and I got out of the truck and my wife cried.
Because you came home?
Because I...
Just kidding. We joke around.
No, because I was standing up straight when I got out of the truck, and she had accepted the fact that I was just going to be an old man that was drooped over, and so I mean it's very emotional, and the emotional side also is what drives you too, because when you start feeling better physically, you start feeling better emotionally as well. And it's just a chain reaction that keeps building on itself.
Yeah, it really does. And I remember that day. I'll never forget. You got up off that table and you were kind of a little nervous about getting adjusted because of the nature of the condition. But there are so many advanced techniques in chiropractic that are so simple and so safe. And I'll never forget when you got up off the table. It was like a miracle for you because you were standing up so much straighter. You just said to me before we started this interview that you went to the doctor. He was checking his charts. And what did he say when he evaluated you?
A new doctor. I changed doctors, and he was looking at the previous medical records, and he said, that's interesting. And that always concerns me when a doctor says that when he's looking at my charts. So I said, what is it? He said, when we measured you, you were an inch taller than what the last doctor measured you. And of course, I told him the story. And the great thing about that was he said, that's great. And if it helps you, that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah. I get emotional too because you've been coming now a year and a half, gone from crisis care to lifestyle care, made that, what we call that critical transition from crisis care to lifestyle care. And as time has gone on, there's a lot of changes other than standing up straighter and moving. You talked about the chain reaction and developing a vision for the future that you didn't even have before because you didn't think was possible. How does that affect you from a longevity perspective, going back home, retiring on this beautiful farm, knowing that you can do some stuff? Tell us about what's next in the life of Keith Smith.
So it is limitless now.
Tears.
And where our house is located, the barn is 300 feet away from the house. So before, I was looking for a vehicle to ride from the house to the barn. Now I walk it and enjoy every step of it. So it's just, I mean, we want to close this chapter of our life of doing a public job and traveling and all that, and open up the next book of our life and we're going to raise cattle, goats, chickens. We're going to do something, but we're looking forward to that and want to be a part of something different.
That's so great. So great. Well, it's an honor to be a part of your journey. I appreciate all the referrals, your willingness to tell your story. You know, no matter what your age is, if you are starting to put limits on your life about what's possible for yourself and your future, it's time to think differently. Go to 100yearlifestyle.com, download the copy of that free ebook that we're giving away on the 100-Year Lifestyle second edition. I think you have it, you've read it. It's made a difference for you. We're giving it away right now, so you go ahead and do that. Share it with the people that you love and get yourself to one of our affiliate chiropractors out there. Let them work with you no matter where you live, anywhere in the country or in the world. If we don't have one there, call us anyway. We'll see if we can find one for you, because your best is yet to come. You know, Keith, you're living yours, man, every single day now. It's great to see the smile, and thank you for sharing your story with all of these beautiful people.
Thank you.